Brings actually is that tonight's broadcast. I don't know if I'm gonna change my change the logo here. I'll just leave it the way it is for right now. Okay, all right. This is another UFO disclosure timeline manifestation. You never know. This might work for some people. Open up their own connections. It's another way of just connecting to another dimension and not worry about this reality so much. The more that you go to fourth dimension, fifth dimension, wherever you want to go, 20th, millionth dimension, wherever. Unless you have to focus on this reality. So that's the reason behind it. Martian channeling, and then I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right. The Betelgeuse star, that's from the Orion, or the Betelgeuse. I think that's what they pronounce it, Betelgeuse. So it's like a huge star in Orion. I was going to channel the other one, the brightest star. I forget the name of it. What was it? It was like a little small. It was bright, but it was a little small. That sucker's big. So I think I put that in the thumbnail. But I can't remember. So all right. So yeah, this UFO disclosure. See where things go with that. Of course, nobody has any guarantees, but it's just putting a vibration out and activating somebody. Hopefully, it's like an activation, basically. Um, apparently, Washington D.C. is going to be in the 51st state, United States. So that's going to be interesting. Feels like they are clearing out karma. I mean, that came out of nowhere. I mean, I have all the things they're doing that, but it's karma clearing. So, yeah, I had Puerto Rico as that list. And there's some others also, but Puerto Rico, anyway, it's technically part of the United States, but it's not really recognized. It is, but it isn't. It doesn't really matter. So, all right, give a slight update. Saboteur.com, our private sessions. We have the shop here. I'm on the 7th. Same situation here. We have this webinar sign up. We have, what is this? Social network. Rabbit. This one just got updated. Behind the scenes, which I don't have energy to add extra, but it has a schedule and a dating site, a COVID-free dating site. I was gonna add like alien abductions. Maybe that'll get people to sign up. I thought about abducting people. Maybe if I started doing alien abduction, my own alien abductions. That doesn't sound right, but you never know. Anything to get attention these days, right? So, yeah, alien abduct Nancy Pelosi and see the creature come out, true colors, whatever that is. After eating all the ice cream and transforms into this 3-headed monster. I won't be surprised. All right, so let's see how things go. It does feel like government energies are breaking down. We'll just have to wait and see where things go on that. Yeah. I don't know, hopefully this hoax called reality starts to disintegrate slowly, so we can see what's really here. All right, so I feel Arcturian energies for this. I'm not sure if I channeled Arcturians last time, but we'll just leave it open for any alien energies to basically give energies into this timeline. We'll do this, probably gonna do this for a while. Yeah, something different. Sure. more power to you, right? Who knows? All right, blessings. Greetings to you. We are the Palladians. Energies, yes, to your society, as yes, you're going more into a fifth dimension idea system. Of course, there's a lot of third dimensional knowledge that you're still learning here. As yes, it's kind of like a reality can be looked at different way, like a computer system. You're pulling in data into yourselves. Even if you don't always want that data, you still bring it into yourself. It's just part of, I mean, why you're like, that's why so many feel you can actually get too much information for yourself, at least on a daily basis. It can become very heavy. I mean, even if you're not interested in a lot of things on this planet, you'd be surprised how much you download from it. As for your alien disclosure vibrations, basically that would bring a youthful energy into your reality. Whereas some will feel that they're 50, but they're acting like they're 20. So a lighter vibration shift. So it's something to look, you know, obviously this message isn't going to connect to the whole world, but if you're minding your own business at home and all of a sudden your grandparent acts like he's 15, that shows there's an alien energy coming in. A lighter vibration connecting you more to the spirit realms, just to let you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be Palladian, it can be other beings, but I mean, even reptilians act like they're youthful, as some of you have noticed. So it's just a sign of the times, a possible sign for some. And yes, as you focus more into the higher vibrations and not so much in the third dimensional reality, most likely you'll see more fourth dimensional energies within your own self. At least ideas that you've never had before, and just not worrying too much about the future and be able to manifest even faster. Um, of course, manifest in the third dimension where it's helpful for you and for others. It's, you know, if you want a shiny new car, you don't really need one. You probably won't want to get one, but you know, it's what can you bring to the earth? See that anchor come in. Because this basically is third dimensional reality become a shadow eventually. It won't, I mean, many of you probably feel like it's not that, it's, you're not really part of it. Anyway, you feel it, but you're not really that involved with it. Well, you'll feel it disconnect even more, and that'll show more of the alien energies activating around you. So it doesn't mean that, yes, that the ships are going to land instantly, but that's your, yes, once again, getting more of your truths. Basically, the idea for a landing pad, but you know, for beings to actually interact with you, for you to be at a certain vibration, for you to you know, have alien interaction to begin with. For it to even happen, you have to be at a certain vibration. I imagine many of you know that. Many of you are probably reaching that, but it's releasing the third dimensional program altogether. Where even in your own, now this is part of what you call it, the secret, the manifestation secret. We're actually living this an alien visitation already. Like you're actually kind of experiencing in some form or another. Will cause a chain reaction of your Earth to begin to shift. Once again, does not mean the aliens are going to land anytime soon, but it shows that they are working with the Earth, shifting things around as they already are, but you can become more attuned to their vibration. Yeah, it's not going to be, you know, it has a gradual process basically. It's all about your intentions also. What do you want to experience? Yeah, alien contact is different ways of looking at it. It's just alien realities coming in. It doesn't necessarily have to be a ship. It's just the alien belief systems, you know, Arcturian belief system, Palladian belief systems, and so on. And it's working through you. You are bringing that reality here. Now, you probably already know that already, but you feel nothing but blockages. But there'll be a time where you know it's coming a lot easier, little by little. Well, the third dimension begins to unlock from yourselves. It's not going to unlock completely, but the heaviness of it will most likely disconnect over time. And little by little, you'll see things a little bit more clearly. It's just that manifesting will become easier and worrying will become a thing of the past. So it's just something to think about as you transform. So alien disclosure is basically bringing that reality of higher dimensions through yourself into the earth. Now, again, this has been going on for some time. It just becomes more, you become more of aware of it, little by little. That's what you're here to do. People wonder what their purpose is. It's not always going to make it clear. You define that on your own, or you could ask for assistance for that, but not all answers are easy to answer. If you're willing to dive, if the answer cannot be answered by an entity, if you're willing to discover it, dig in further, you will eventually find that answer. But you have to be willing to look into it also. Some people call it, are you willing to do the work, and that type of verbiage. What's that word work? You're here to open yourself on a spiritual level, and you call it work. Does that sound right to you? Shouldn't it be worded better? It's like, I believe many spiritual teachers here is that have you done the work to find yourself? It's like, isn't that very third dimensional vocabulary? I mean, yes, we understand why to use it, but it's like, have you found your higher being? Have you found your higher self? Have you awakened your Kundalini? And it just sounds better, doesn't it? It's like, oh, awaken, and it's all the tone of how you say it too. Because some say it like, "I've done it and you haven't," but in truth, you're all working on it all the time, just on different levels. That's all. No, there's no one that's better than anyone else. Some act that way, which is also spiritual adolescence. Some teachers have a lot to learn. Some think they have all the answers. They have a lot to learn, and eventually they know that, but that's not always the easiest to bring it through. But alien vibrations, basically, as you tune in with the higher frequencies, in a way where this world is not causing you a blockage. I mean, yes, there's going to be blockages, but it's not interfering with your thinking pattern. Where you just see yourself at a different energy field than you did in the past. Might not be completely clear, but that's because the alien environments, basically, they don't worry about all these Earth problems here. They don't worry about any of them. The more that you're worried about that, it shows you have a lot of third dimensional healing to do still. But that doesn't mean you can still connect to the higher dimensions and still recognize that side of yourself. You're just not so focused on it anymore. It's still a part of you. Of course, it's going to be part of it. It's not going to disappear completely. But you just be able to heal it quicker. Because, yeah, you basically, as the higher dimensional energies come in, you're basically healing the problems of modern day life. Of course, then you're going to bring your higher dimensional problems in, but that's a whole different story there. Yes, what aliens to trust? Why are these aliens thinking like this? How am I doing my own insecurities to activate myself even more? So basically, activating one's spiritual abilities is really going to be the next phase of humanity. As it is already, becomes more part of society eventually. We don't have a time on that. But basically working on yourselves, it becomes more a part of society. And it's not, it's not called work. It's called whatever you want to call it, but it's not really work. It's, even we're using your terms. But either way, I think you understand. So, blessings to your society. Brings to you, well, the Arcturians, blessings to you. Yes, sending light from the higher realms to your society. Yes, there's a lot of self-love going on in your world. Why, yes, the ships have not landed yet. Of course, you have a lot of politics clutter. Well, your politicians are enjoying their masquerade. I guess you could call it humorous, depending on how you look at it. It's distracting, of course. Well, it's yes, another version of Hollywood, basically. Well, when one Hollywood clears out, another one begins to show itself. Yes, it's all smoke and mirrors basically for society. It's still on the cutting edge of learning more about itself. So we just feel like humanity is going to get more real with itself. I mean, instead of wondering about these mysteries, actually discovering them and bringing them more into the surface level. Not all at once, because that would be the end of everything. But it would be basically just it's yes, it's some of you might feel it, but there's a lot of lower dimensional energies coming into the light. Little by little, I believe your Hollywood got some light and your politicians some little bit because they're probably orchestrating your reality because not all of them are going to be exposed completely. Those that are causing a lot of difficulties, not yet, because they're probably puppet masters of your reality. You kind of need them to a certain extent, at least part of your consciousness. Some of you don't need them at all, but others need them to guide them to who they are. Society needs to be guided to themselves. Like, how do I work on this? How do I work on myself? Even if, yes, we're using that work. That's an earth word. We have to use some kind of vocabulary that you have. But humanity in general, yes, it's a journey within itself that is graduating into a higher dimensional idea system, which brings in the alien. I mean, many of you will be bringing these aliens in yourselves physically. Well, I mean, higher dimensionally, but you'll know them they're there. I mean, you can imagine you're at the park or somewhere and you feel there's a ship there. You don't see it, but you can feel it. And you feel the beings walking around. That's where you're heading towards. Yes, so let that sit in for a little bit. And there will be a ship or ships for that matter, little by little. As you basically leave this third dimensional play place, as they call it. Well, yes, it's been fun in games for a long time, aggravating, but eventually you have to close the book on it. That's why many of you are here. Many of you are having all kinds of struggles here because you're here to bring in these higher dimensions, and you have to wait or this like you open up that reality and then humanity closes it, and you try to bring it in, and others are shutting it down. It's very aggravating. It's like you're building a new school here. And that's pretty much what's happening. In a newer frame of mind. Yes, some will still do sports, but be more connected to the mind. You can, of course, do physical sports, of course. People become faster and just think quicker. You're just becoming more to a wider energy. Obviously, many are going to hold on to the third dimension, and that's fine. You need that anchor for it keeps things balanced. Because many of you can just tap into the higher dimensions, and then there goes your world. It's like, well, that was easy. It implodes like in 2 seconds. That's another another reason why negativity gets to a certain level in this world. Because higher vibrations come in, negativity gets stronger as once eventually it starts to balance itself. Just the way it is. It's all about balance, really, when it comes down to it. All right, blessings to you on your journeys here. Greetings, we are the Martians. Some of us, yes, are reptilian, but not all of us. In our Martian ways, we feel like we have actually surpassed your version of human as for DNA. Of course, it got out of hand, but we're still healing ourselves. We have a lot of Venus connections also to balance us a little bit more. But the Martian is basically, yes, very much part of your universe, a male-driven society, maybe too driven, but you're going to see more of that in your future. Of course, it's male and female, but a lot of it's male-driven societies. You're living in a male-driven society too. Is healing is yes, balancing that obviously is not simple on your Earth. Basically, on Mars, you just wipe out any type of femininity. We keep some of it, but wipe out most of it. It has to be a strong feminine energy. It can't be weak. Of course, it all depends on how you define weak. I mean, you can have like the skinniest person in the world be stronger than any of us, even the strongest man. So, but we feel obvious is a little controversial for your Earth, but the male energies here are obviously needed. Some would rather get rid of it altogether. And that it does have like a Venus energy connected to it for some. Some Venus beings have absolutely had enough of the male vibrations and become so toxic and sick of the male to just wipe it off the face of the universe. So when you go into your higher vibrations, realize that you still have a lot of work to do on this universe. Well, yes, we use the word work also, but there's a lot of troubleshooting to do on your planet or existence for that matter. Well, the universe itself is almost imploding itself at some times. It gets completely dark. It allows worlds like yours to even exist. I mean, it has its own dark. If you think your world has difficulty, think about it, there's other parts of the universe that have had far more controlling than this reality. It doesn't even know what a sun even looks like, but it still has a society built onto it. Much of it is underground. So I believe some of you are going to, I've actually experienced those places. But the reason why we are here, for your, was it your alien disclosure? Well, yes, your government systems are letting go slowly, as basically allowing more lighter vibrations to come in. And it's going to the governments are going to slowly dismantle themselves. Not all, but some little by little. We don't see much change in your currencies. It's just going to be the same thing. Well, the people are going to be manipulating that. That's an art. When many do say your money system is very connected to your Anunnaki, but I feel like it's very Archon driven, Archon controlled. A control grid that comes from, yes, other planets. It's like a chain. It's a chain around the planet. We feel like you will heal that once humanity becomes more less when your 9 to 5 job energies begin to dissipate. Of course, that takes some time. Uh, when that starts to release, more people have more free time to themselves. That's when your money system implodes. Yeah, that's just how great. Well, other planets, other star beings put your money system in place, not just the Anunnaki, others, because they want to make sure that you're under this control. Yes, it's part of your physical growth, but obviously others have other, they call it growth, but somehow they just have other agendas. So it's like one now you have one suppressor. I mean, you have like all these different dictators on your planet at this time. They're not ones to show themselves at this moment, but there's many of them. As you can probably feel that. It's like you have a planet of many bosses. Well, they're going through their own figuring. Now, a lot of these alien beings are healing themselves. Like they suppress your planet, but they get karma for doing that. And that's going to be leverage for you as you go into your awakening process. You'd be surprised how where you're going from here. Blessings. Brings you. We are the Betelgeuse star from Orion. Greetings to your horizons. Yes, your experience here, yes, is a rough one. Well, you're living the reptilian guidelines, the reptilian experience of knowing, yes, deeper about yourselves. Yes, maybe you feel like you don't need to learn from this reality, but you're freeing yourselves also. Reptilian beings only have so much strength here. The humans give it. Well, many humans we feel here are letting down their guard, allowing this to occur on your planet. Not everybody, but enough. Well, they feel like they owe alien beings a great deal because they don't want to see what's out in your universe. We'll just play this human game for as long as we can, but we don't really want to see what's out there in space. But eventually, that's going to have to occur, and it's occurring now. Doesn't mean you're going to see insectoid beings running around your planet anytime soon that are alien. But realization you're coming out of your old phase into a new one, and the new one is reacquainting with your universe. So your yes, Archon beings, Orion Archon beings mostly. Well, they allowed what your set date to expand this as long as it's been going. Now, of course, humanity agreed upon it, but alien beings wanted to open up your Earth a long time ago, and some of you probably feel the, and it's just the darkness. How dark can humanity get? That was one of the tests on your planet. How good can it get, and how dark can it get? Obviously, you can see how dark it can get, but what enlightenment are you here to bring? Now, this is the time of enlightenment. It's a slow one. It's not, of course, not as going to be as fast as something would like it, but it's how you treat positivity, how you treat power, you know, of responsibility. Because some of them have not done that too well on their planet. They get a lot of power and they abuse it. Your world's very used to that, as you can see. You see it in your face all the time. That's another reason why, yes, your aliens have not landed just yet. So you're reacquainting yourself with the higher realms. Can you handle the real truths of this planet? Eventually, it'll be some kind of human trafficking form. Eventually, yes, that's little details will come out every once in a while. See how people react. It can all be unraveled even today, but it's just so deep ingrained into your planet. It's a wound that just the realization this has been going on for some time is going to really make a lot of souls very. It's going to be hurting many people just feeling that sorrow. So that's why it has not fully risen itself out of the shadows just yet. So, yes, expect many realizations. The stars shift their vibration all the time. For your stars talk to each other. And we see how your planet is like, yeah, we just leave it buried for a while until they get their act together. I mean, sometimes opening up your planet might be just, it has to be the right time for it. That's why the alien disclosure hasn't happened because humans just, they're not, that's not well. Some might see it differently, but from our perspective, many are going through a lot of, suffering. It's difficult when you see world suffering. It's totally different. You see it from your human perspective. That's one thing. You see it from a world perspective. It's very difficult. That's a hard one to see. But yes, when you see everything happening on your planet, when you're on a spaceship or a star being, you see what's happening on your world. It's a lot to take in. Now, for us, we're used to it. We see the atrocities, but we also see the positive. Just we see it all together. But your world only sees what it wants to see. Of course, it's doing a lot of things. But here to, yes, allow the wounds to be seen so they can be healed. Yes, the deep wounds have to be uncovered. As yes, the rhetoric of old healings, yes, have been very well, but it's also time for the true healings to occur. Of course, there's been a lot of Orion beings. I mean, the sun energies, a lot of times they just step back. As you sort of have noticed, the sun can definitely intervene. But then why? Why should we? Let your world figure it out. But and then some of you that want to change, come here and yes, go through hell, but eventually bring the change in. Not everybody's, it's hard. It's hard for humans here to understand why certain people go through what it is. You don't always feel the experiences of each other. One day you will. It's not very clear. You're not always seeing, the pain some of you are going through. And it's deep. Especially when you're here to awaken a planet that's been in slumber for such a long time. We do feel many awakenings coming, yes. But once again, it's not going to be the sparkling higher dimensions that people feel like. It will get there, but there's much under the rug that has to be seen first. And you've already experienced some of it, but we believe much more has to happen for things to truly change. You're now there might be a softer way of going about it, a karmic way of healing, like with your slavery that's been happening on your planet to soften that blow, soften the truth of it. There are certain ways of healing it, like your government with the 51 state, 51st, whatever that is. That's yes, it's karmic, but that's like a softer way of healing things without really doing anything really. I mean, they can do more, but obviously they can do a lot more. They're not going to, not now, but eventually you do more. You're going to do a lot of human rights on your planet in your future. You're doing it now, but be more of it in your future how you can help others. It become easier to do that too. Right now it's very difficult. I mean, if you want to help others, but as you know, you gotta help yourself first. It's like as much as you want to save the world, it's not there to be saved. People want to be saved. Many don't. And that's the thing about your world. Half majority doesn't want to be saved. Not that you're going to be saved, but that's another reason why it's been going through what it's going through. But that is going to change. Well, many of you are here to shift that vibration, shift that mindset. I mean, if people don't want to change things, that's fine, but that is not going to stop the change.